Hello, hello. Everybody coming to you live. Happy Thursday. Let me just check that my microphone is working. Let's see, it should be. So today we're going to be talking about your LinkedIn banner. This is something you can use, of course, for other platforms. So if you're doing LinkedIn banner, then obviously you can just redimension it, adjust it for Twitter, for Facebook, for other channels that you may be active on. I use mine also for Medium. That's another one that I'm active on. So there's other platforms that accept banners. It's always fun to have a banner. So hopefully you guys are tuning in to listen to how you can make a beautiful banner, but most importantly, why you should make a banner. Obviously, some people think they don't really need to pay attention to their banner, but today I'm going to tell you why I think that you really should. So let me just give a few minutes to make sure people can get in here. And also if I can see any of the comments. Hope everyone is doing well. Okay. So let's get started because I know your time is very valuable. So I want to start with saying who needs a banner, right? So the very first question is who should design a banner? And my answer to this is everyone. And the reason I feel like everyone needs a banner is the same reason I feel like everyone needs to wear clothes, right? So if we all wore uniforms as adults, then we wouldn't really stand out. We wouldn't be able to tell each other apart. It would be a little bit more difficult. But because people dress differently in different situations, it's easier then to notice each other, right? And remember each other. Remember that online you're fighting with lots of attention from a lot of people. And so your job online is to really figure out how to position yourself as somebody worthy of being followed, somebody who has something unique to offer. And obviously, it's a lot of competition. So if you're not using your banner, you're already missing out on one amazing tool that LinkedIn, that Facebook, that Twitter gives you. And so that's number one, is just really everyone has to think of it like clothes. What is your style, right? And obviously, you might say, well, if I'm working for a company, I'm not looking for a new job, then why should I mess with my banner? Okay. And my answer to you is it's exactly like being married, where you say, well, I'm married now, so I don't need to pay attention to my physique or my personal hygiene or the way I dress anymore, right? No one would say that, would they? Because you are always representing in all situations. No matter what, you're representing. And remember that LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, these are public platforms. This isn't what you do at home when you're in your sweatpants. You want to put your best foot forward, especially on LinkedIn, because of course it's supposedly the professional platform, but in reality, it's more the finding platform. So for me, LinkedIn is a place that I go to search for people to work with and to collaborate with and associate with. And so it's really a marketplace, all right? And the way I imagine it is like a big shopping mall. So if you guys go to a shopping center and you're walking around and you see right and left, you see different types of stores. Well, you may be looking for a certain type of store. So number one, think of your banner like the storefront. So if I already am looking for something, then make it easy so that I identify when I come to your profile that that's what I've been looking for, right? So don't hide it. And number two, make it attractive, because as you know, if you've ever been in like a downtown area and your guys are thinking where to go to eat, and on both sides of the streets you see restaurants, and you make a split-second judgment by the outside of the restaurant. So you're looking at what does it look like outside, and that's what determines if you even want to look at the menu. So that's how you have to consider it. Thanks for joining in. So LinkedIn banners are what we're talking about today. And so imagine that from the outside, you have Italian restaurants, you have sushi restaurants, you have fast food, you have really high-end French cuisine, you have a really nice little Mexican place, so a person is shopping around and they're like, I wonder what I want to eat. I'm telling you right now that LinkedIn is the same. Your banner is like the storefront. So you're making a statement to strangers, come on in. So number one, I want to know what kind of cuisine you serve. And number two, even if it's the type of cuisine that I was actually thinking about eating, something might be more attractive than something else, right? So think of that way, and you'll always be one step ahead to understand why you need a nice banner. I hope this all makes sense. So the very first thing we want to think about with our banner is the look and feel, what I call the mood or the vibe. So remember that an image is worth 1,000 words. So even before I read what you wrote on your banner, I'm already making a judgment if I want to look further or not. So when I'm looking at this banner, I'm thinking about the vibe, and it's either attracting me or it's doing the opposite, or it's just neutral. It's not moving me at all. I don't feel anything. So remember, a person is twice as likely to come towards your profile if they are attracted to it. That's the power of personal branding. And you don't have much to work with, right? You have your profile photo, you have your banner, you have your title. Those are the three elements that will really, imagine that's your storefront. So what is the mood that you're trying to get across? So how do you set the tone of what banner you need? So before we even talk about designing a banner, we need to set the tone. Now, what types of banners would I want to categorize myself as, right? Is what type of business I have and what type of personality I have. So am I trying to be classy, professional, conservative, high-end, fun, quirky, everything? Oh, you like my ring? Thanks. So you're thinking about all the different types of words that someone would use to describe your profile, uniquely based on your banner, right? So obviously your banner has to match to your profile photo. So if you have this super old headshot that you got with your very first job, and then you try to update your banner and make it nice and modern and, a little bit unique, you'll probably need to update your photo, okay? The two have to sync up. The good news is that you can do all of this in Canva. So I don't know if any of you have used Canva. Let me know in the comments if you have, but it's an amazing, amazing tool. Prior to Canva, we had Photoshop, we had all of the Adobe, and Adobe is still by far my favorite products, but it's expensive and there's a big learning curve to learn Photoshop, to learn Illustrator. So there's actually too many options, but you really need to learn how to use it. Whereas Canva is so simple to use, right? And much more affordable. So that's why I recommend Canva to most of my people who aren't designers by nature, because you can get up and running in Canva almost immediately. So before we go into that, when I talk about the mood, so if I went to your profile right now and looked at it, what would be some words that I would use to describe what I'm seeing? Like, how do I feel when I see your profile, right? You can do this test with people who you trust. DM somebody and ask them, would you mind giving me some feedback about my banner? And specifically what you want to know is, when you go there, what would be 3 words that you would use to describe the vibe if you took away my title? And why do I say it's super important to ignore the title? Because 90% of the time, when a person sees some visual, they immediately think more visually, and then they look at the written word secondarily, right? So we really want to make sure that everything syncs up. The title, the photo, the banner, to convey the mood you want to convey. All right. And speaking of mood, what's really important, guys, is color psychology. So your banner should match to your brand. If I look at your banner and then I go to your website and it's so different, I will immediately be confused. I'm like, wait a minute, something's not right. So very, very important is to have one brand identity that has certain keywords, mood keywords that you're trying to convey. Like I said earlier, there's a very big difference between having a brand that's fun, that's creative, that's vibrant, and a brand that's conservative, classy, and serious. All right. And depending on what industry you work in, you want to change the mood, because just because you love green doesn't at all mean that your banner should be green, right? Green is conveying very specific mood, So I have a 5-day LinkedIn challenge that I'm going to put in the chat right now, because in my LinkedIn challenge, I have on day 3 a whole training about color psychology. And I do think that when you're doing your branding, you need to know these things. You really want to make sure that you're not messing around here, that you're giving the right vibe. So if you guys if you haven't taken it already, it's completely free. So go ahead and grab this and you'll get all the goodies about the color psychology, because I'm not going to go into it right now, but I just want you to know that every single color gives a very specific communication to other people. So you want to be careful what colors you pick. Now, I think you guys would notice on my profile that I'm interested in color, but like pop colors. And the reason I do that is to grab attention. I want to be shown as somebody who's different, who's creative, who stands out. So definitely think about that as well. If that's something you're trying to do, you can do that with all of the colors. It just depends how you do it, right? But in general, photos, and that includes banners that have a colorful background, are twice as likely to be clicked on. Okay. So hold on. I'm going to grab the file that I wanted to share with you guys. Give me 1 second and I want to show you some examples here. But I hope all of this makes sense for you guys. It's super important to take the time to design a banner that works for you. I have personally designed a ton of banners, although I'm not a designer. I've done it just by necessity, And I do want to shout out that there are people who design LinkedIn banners. I invited one to come on this live today, but I don't think he was able to make it. But definitely there are people who do LinkedIn banners. And so you can totally check those people out by searching them on LinkedIn. Okay, people, which one is the document that I'm trying to get? I made too many of these documents, okay? I'm going to show you some examples if I can share my screen, but give me a second so I can figure out. I had to restart my computer and no, this is, okay, that's definitely not it. Bear with me. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. So let's see. I really love helping people with their banners as well, but it's not a profession of mine or anything. It's just part of the brand identity. And I do think it's massively important. So what happens beyond color? So I want you to know that your banner is your real estate. So I actually change my banner quite often. If I'm doing a workshop, I might create a special banner for it, and I just leave it up for a week to run a campaign towards my workshop. I know people who are launching books who change their banner to just show their book behind them. So think of your banner as not something that's just static. You can change it. And I personally change mine probably every 2 months, which is a bit extreme, I'll admit. Probably that's why I'm even teaching this, because I feel like I am one of those people who specifically changes a lot. Give me one sec. I cannot find the document that I had to close when my computer restarted. And I have all my examples in there for you. So I'm going to look for it in a different spot where it should be. And in the meantime, I'll just tell you that once you've picked your color scheme, which I feel is the most important thing that matches what you're trying to convey, the mood you're trying to convey, then you're going to go into LinkedIn and you're going to look for profiles that their banners inspire you, to be honest. If you ever see banners just randomly, you're like networking on LinkedIn, you see somebody's banner, after this talk, you'll probably notice more often people's banners than before. And so when you're doing that, go in and screenshot it and put it into your swipe file. Now, what's a swipe file? A swipe file is exactly what it sounds like. You're basically looking at different people's stuff and you're making note of stuff you like. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, now that I found the file, let me see if I can share this. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this, and I'm gonna increase my screen now. And let me just check over on LinkedIn if I can see what I'm sharing with you guys to make sure it's working. I love it. Looks like it's loading. All right, you guys can see it? Everyone can see it? Somebody let me know in the chat. Yes. Okay. So this is part of my actual LinkedIn training, but I think it's so important that I want to share with you. So these are two different profile photos of me. And these two profile photos are so different, right? So one is the one that was my professional headshot, and then the second one is one that's just fun. And so I want to encourage you to play around with what you're doing, but intentionally. All right. Hold on. How do I keep going? I have to use the slider. Okay, hold on. Okay, so here's an example of what I did in the background to announce my boot camp. So you see, I'm telling you, I use it for my current offers, events, new product launches. It's really an amazing tool. So I'm going to get past here because I want to show you. Hold on. I'm looking for my examples. All right. So here I put together some screenshots of people who I'm all connected with, except Brendan Burchard, who is a coach in the corner. I think I'm not connected with him. But these are all really great profile pictures that make you want to connect with these people. And it does belong with your banner. Like I said earlier, they have to match. So it's super important before you make a banner. So these are some amazing banners that I wanted to share with you that really showcase what they do. Now, each of these banners, I specifically picked something very, very different on purpose to show you how you can own the banner, right? So, in the going from the left, you've got Adam Grant, who's an author. So he's showcasing his different books. Then you've got my friend Ed. Ed is amazing. You got to connect with Ed Zia. He's with his family. He's just that type of guy. So you just want to know more about him because of that. Then the bottom left, you've got Shay Rowbottom, who this banner is just awesome. Look at that. How much more clear can you get on what she does and how to reach her? So even if you didn't have access to her whole profile, just her banner alone is enough to understand what she does, to get you excited about her energy, and to tell you how to hire her. So, A+ for Shay. Then going over to the right top, you've got the CEO of Scribe, which is a publishing house. So it's very clear by this photo what's going on here, that it's about books, right? Then in the middle, you've got Brenda. Look what she's doing, the same thing that I did a minute ago, which is to use her background for showcasing an event she was having. And then in the very bottom, you've got Mel Robbins, who is showcasing her book launch, okay? So I'm giving you different examples to show you just what you can do with your profile, right? Okay, let me get out of here. So I put those together for you guys to showcase some of the coolest profiles ever. You are in control of your profile, and you can do whatever you want. So let's go over to let me share now. Let me go over to Canva. So now that I showed you some diversity, some different types, let me go over to Canva and show you how you can get started on your own to build these. Because obviously I showed you some amazing examples. Okay. Well, maybe let me do something different. Hold on. Let me share this. Okay, hold on. Before I go into what I want to before we go in over there, I've got Vikas who has shared with me his backdrop that he's thinking about or that he's working on. And let me see if I can share that here. Hold on. All right, you guys should be able to see this. It's probably going to load a little bit, but Vika shared this with us to give an example of his backdrop. All right, so here's my feedback right away. My feedback is I have no idea what you do. Your name is way too big. Like your name, I don't care about your name. Your name doesn't have to be in your backdrop at all. Instead, what you want in your backdrop is what you do and what your promise is, right? So I'll show you in a minute some of the different backdrops that I've had. But if you look at the examples I gave, there's a clear vibe, which in yours there's no vibe. In both of these, I don't know, black. Okay, black. It's pretty much saying I'm not going to tell you who I am. It's kind of a secrecy. And then the bottom one with the computer doesn't tell me anything either. It's very, very generic. So my opinion is the name has to go. The name doesn't belong. The only time the name is valuable is if it's the website URL, right? So if you have your website.com, put it in there. But even here, it's way too small. All the other text, your name is like taking over. That's all I see. And then the other text, I can barely read it. I'm on a desktop. Over 50% of people will look at your profile on a mobile device. So they're not at all going to read this tiny, tiny text. So get rid of the name and instead put what you do. And preferably what we're looking for is your unique value proposition. All right. So what is your brand promise? What do you do? The one that I've been using for quite a while is double your revenue in 12 months with my coaching. All right. So that's pretty clear. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I want from you. I want you to figure out what your promise is, your unique value proposition. And that's what I want to see. Now, how do you figure that out? You ask people what they think, and especially ask your target audience, like your clients, your existing clients, people who fit your ideal customer. Ask them, right? Now, you don't ask just random strangers, but you want to talk to people who you know and who are willing to talk to you, who would be your ideal customer, and ask them what they think when they read that. I actually did this yesterday. I set up two unique value propositions, A and B, and I asked people who fall into my audience, who, I work with service-based online entrepreneurs, very specific niche. And I asked them, what do you guys think about these two different, UVPs, and get their feedback. And I do that regularly because you never know, we don't live in a bubble. We want to get opinion from somebody else. So I really like having in the banner, I like having the unique value proposition. I like having a URL. So I do this for my clients too. And my clients ask, well, why do I need to put my URL in there when they can read my about profile? They can scroll down and find my company and everything. Well, the reason I want a URL is because people are going to give your profile about 2 seconds of their time. They're never going to make it down there to look at the about section, to go all the way down digging for whatever else it is, right? And this is a big sales mistake. I had someone today who messaged me trying to sell me her services, and it was really, really vague what she was saying. And I kept asking for more clarity. And then she's like annoyed and she's like, look at my website. And I'm like, look, lady, you messaged me. You're trying to sell to me. And now you're telling me that I have to take even more of my busy time to go try to understand because you can't give me a clear answer what you do. And in the end, she blocked me. Oh my God. Yeah, that's my story for the day. So I'm telling you that, don't make it hard for your potential customers. If they have to guess, if they have to try to search for what you do, look up your website, make it really simple. And this, by the way, leads into my podcast that I did last week. My live was about call to actions, CTAs. I really, really love to look in a banner and find your CTA. Now, a CTA, a call to action, if you guys don't know what it is, go look me up on YouTube. And you can actually, let's see, I think you can get to me this way. Hold on. I'm pretty sure you can do this. And you will see my video about CTAs. And I also have a worksheet about the best CTAs. And basically, a call to action is so important. What do you want people to do when they see your banner? Do you want, and telling them to connect with you or follow you, that's not a good CTA. That's really, telling them, grab my free training, find out more about this. That's more interesting. So watch my video about CTAs and then come up with one to put on your banner. Because mail me, we don't say, we say email, and I would just put the symbol. I wouldn't even write it out. But that's not a good CTA either, because I don't know what you do. Why should I spend my time emailing you, right? And I'm definitely not going to call you. So your phone number is not a good CTA either. If you're product owner, I don't know what that means, but if you have a portfolio, put your portfolio URL in there. All right. I get so many people trying to sell me services like web design services, graphic design services. They don't even have a decent one URL for their portfolio. Instead, they're trying to send me like 20 different links to different stuff. They're trying to send me a huge PDF document. I'm not going to download something from somebody I don't know. That's not how to do it. Get one URL. Today, you can have a website set up in less than an hour, like a Squarespace, very simple website. WordPress isn't that hard either. So there's no excuses not to get at least your name. Even if you're in a full-time job, personal branding has never been more important, guys. So, before we even talk further about this, I really think it's important to think about those things. All right. So now I'm going to switch over to, okay, hold on. We're going to switch over to Canva, my favorite. All right. And now let me share my Canva with you. Sorry, it takes me a while to switch between screens. Okay. So now I'm just giving it a second, make sure that it's loaded up here, that you guys can see. At least I hope you can see. All right. So this is my Canva. I've got tons of banners, tons of banners. Now, are my banners going to work for you? Probably not. Probably not. Look at my colors. I've got all these really bright colors. Not everyone's cup of tea. I've done banners for all kinds of stuff. I showed you earlier the banner I did for of an event I had. I have banners that I did for my clients, just tons of stuff, but I'm constantly switching up my banners. So what you want to do is you want to set up a personal account on Canva. Now, I did upgrade to the Pro version, but it's really not expensive at all. So the reason I like Pro is because it gives you a lot more options for stock imagery and graphics. So that's the reason that you might want to do it. But otherwise, just regular Canva is free. All right. And what you want to do is you want to see here, there's all these different templates, social media, personal business, marketing, and everything you can search up and you will find templates. So look what I see right here, LinkedIn banners. Woohoo! So no need to stress about it. You do not have to be a graphic designer. Should you hire someone to do your banner? Maybe. I mean, I personally love having other people do stuff for me because they see things that I don't see. And somebody who actually specializes in doing graphic design or doing banners is going to do a better job than me, hands down. But with that said, I personally don't hire anyone to do my banners because I change them so frequently. Can you guys imagine what it would cost me if I was constantly hiring someone to redo my banner? With that said, I might hire someone to do graphic design for me in general. I have a lot of friends who are coaches like me who have a full-time go-to person for stuff like that. But look what I'm showing you right now. There are 4,337 templates for just LinkedIn banners. It's amazing. So there's no excuses not to come in here and start setting this up. I think there's a lag. I think you guys are still seeing, yeah, there's a little bit of a lag. That's okay. It will catch up. So when you're in here, you basically can choose whatever you want, and then you can personalize it. So depending on what type of business you have, what type of job you have, this is just like with web design where you see templates. They've clearly set up a lot of different options for different types of businesses. And every single type is going to convey something different to the audience. Personally, the template designs are fine, but what's inside the template doesn't work for me. Because like I just told you guys a minute ago, I don't want to see your name. I really don't care. What I want to see is what you do and a way to reach you. I think I tend to have a bad habit of being too busy in my designs. So in all of my templates, I tend to put too much in there. And then I have to go back and make myself remove things because I want to put so much information and value that basically it's almost like a mini website, in my opinion. But that doesn't have to be like that. There's some very good templates here where it's really clean. And then there's just the URL where to reach that person with their title and stuff like that. But I totally think that you can find whatever you're looking for here. And some of these are better than others. And I'm talking now not from a design perspective because I cannot speak as a designer. I am talking from a business perspective. All right. When I look at these immediately, every single banner gives me different feels. And so I want something that stands out, but I also want something that gives the right feel. And again, the names have to go. No one's going to, click on it because your name's in it. Instead, I want to see what you do. So here's one that looks really comprehensive in terms of information. We provide best construct service. Okay, we would say construction in English. Um, so if here, this would be great if there was one thing that's really missing, two things. This banner right here would be amazing if there was a yellow circle that had their URL inside and it said, reach out to us for a free quote. Okay, that would be super important to me. And because this particular one is construction, I would like to see where they're located, right? Otherwise, it's great because this kind of a banner gives me all the information I need right up front. So remember, what's missing is the URL, the call to action. That's super important. Let's find another one. So that was for like a construction. By the way, if you guys are watching with me, you'll see that there is this little crown next to some of them when we're browsing. And those are the ones that you have to have Pro. So I have Pro, so I can use all of these. If you just have the free version, you can only view them, but if you want to use them, you would have to upgrade. Okay. So it's very typical, but this is another example that's exactly very, very different. So when I see this banner, it's so clear that she's a watercolor artist. Beautiful, right? Do I think she needs her name in here? Not really, but I would definitely put her URL. Where's her website? And I would have some downloadable that I would say something like, get my free template, my free color design template or something to get people into our mailing list. So remember, I'm really big on the CTAs. So I just showed you another example because it was so vastly different. Let's see what else would be a great example. So remember, now I'm talking about personal branding. So if you just want to brand your company, you can use these too. Like the one we looked at, the construction company, could be either personal or it could be the actual company one. I do see quite a bit. I wonder if I can type in. No, I don't think I can. It will take me out of here if I do. I was going to see if we can sort them by types. Oh, yes, we can. Over here, duh. As you guys see, Canva is amazing. Look at this. So right now we're looking at LinkedIn banners, but there's also on the side all the different styles that we could go for. So let's look at a corporate one. Let's filter out by corporate right now. And corporate does not mean boring. There's so many interesting templates that you can use now. I think these templates look great. And they're very diverse. So depending on what you do, like let me grab this one real quick. This would be for, it looks to me very feminine. So definitely it matches to this woman. So this would be a coach, but this could also be somebody like a therapist or even a CPA. This would be great. Again, I don't know why they just use their names, but I guess it's because it's, it's a template. So they're making up some fake names. Here, this looks like some medical, LinkedIn banner, medical. So this kind of is my style because look, they've got all their contact info right there. That's what I'm talking about. There is one thing though that Canva is doing wrong. So, and I have to call it out so that you don't make this mistake. If you guys noticed in LinkedIn, your photo is going to be on the left side. So you can't put these two people in the background on the left because in a lot of situations, they will be cut off. Now, remember, we're talking about, there is a challenge we have to take into an account when we design our banner. We have to design it for mobile and for desktop. And believe me, it's not the same thing, right? So on desktop, your photo is going to appear in the left corner when it's opened. when it's in certain situations, including mobile, your photo appears in the middle. So that means that you don't really have the whole banner to work with. And actually LinkedIn isn't that bad. I find that Facebook and YouTube are much worse, especially YouTube. It's always hard to like adjust the elements just perfectly, especially for somebody like me who wants to put a lot of stuff in there, that it doesn't get hidden or cut off somehow. So already by using Canva, it will perfectly give you the right size. So that's already half the battle. But then when you add the elements into your profile, try to stay on the right side. So like what they've done here, um, my only critique, so I love how they put their contact info. My only critique is it's not going to show up. You have to use a better font, and you have to use probably a bold background or something to make it more readable. So once you guys have picked one of these templates, you start playing around with it. I highly encourage you to take two different ones and spend a little bit of time working on them, and then ask people what they think. You don't have to change your background yet. You have to save them, download them as PNG or JPEG files, which is really easy. Any of these, we can just edit them and then right here, customize this template, and then we just download it when we're done. Of course, we should rename it first, but it's pretty easy. Let me show you some of my banners. But what I want you to do is ask people what they think, because if people who know you look at these banners, will they say, you know, that's not you? That just, or if they look at two of them, they'll say that's more you. That's your personality coming across, you know? So this is my banner right here. There we go, LinkedIn banner. And I actually kind of made sure that the URL was above the photo. But you see, I personally have a lot of stuff in here. And so I want you to know I have a podcast. So I put the microphone, I put the name of the podcast, I put what's the mission of the podcast, right? Then I put the #1 channel for online service-based entrepreneurs. Then I put a few things to kind of get people excited. 10x your income, work on your own terms, be your own boss. And then I have my URL. That's my website, and it's the short version. And that's it. So you don't see my name. Why do people put their photos in there? Because it makes it more personal. It's just the truth. I also want to point out that you could eventually look for Twitter headers, because look what's over here on the sidebar. There's a bunch of Twitter headers. So if you're like in here looking at LinkedIn templates and you're just not feeling it, you're like, nah, these just don't resonate with me, then type in Twitter banners, because Twitter, believe it or not, is a little bit more popular than LinkedIn, because it's considered more of a social networking channel, whereas LinkedIn is considered more of a job channel. And I know that's hard to believe for people who use LinkedIn a lot, but it's the way people see LinkedIn. So think about that when you're making your banner. I was going to grab another example. You guys can tell I use Canva a lot, can't you? And I tend to use bright colors. Let's see. Yeah, I was going to show you the one I did for the money workshop that I put in the background when I showed you an example earlier of the event I did, the LinkedIn bootcamp. That was a banner. So, and I left it up for like a week, and I tend to do that when I'm running a sale for a course I have. So I have a LinkedIn course. I just have so much here, guys. Look how long it's taking me to scroll down to find stuff. And sometimes I'll update my banner and then very quickly take it down because I just don't like it. And that's normal. I'm not a designer, but I really, really enjoy playing around with all this stuff. And maybe you don't. Maybe you're not the type like me who I'm a creative person. So even though I'm not a good designer, I definitely do this for my business because I work in marketing. So I'm constantly needing to create stuff. But maybe you're not. So you can hire somebody. On LinkedIn here, there's some amazing people who do LinkedIn banners, who do graphic design. You can find those people on Facebook too. They will take care of all your graphics. So don't hesitate to, don't be like, oh no, I have to do all this and you don't want to, because that's not cool either. So just putting that out there, you don't have to. I even updated Happy New Year on my banner just for 24 hours earlier this year. Well, I can't even find any good examples. That's how many. Oh, this is a funky banner I had. Yeah, this is funny. I was in this, I was doing my goal setting workshop where I was talking about, having a better life. And so I changed my background, my LinkedIn banner, to make it very much like these colors, so that was fun. But other than that, I'd love to take any questions you guys have. If anybody has any questions, anybody, just let me know. And I think it's very important to have the right banner for yourself. And so after this, your homework, please go and look at some banners that you like, both on LinkedIn and in Canva. Prepare 2 versions. If you are courageous enough to make the banner yourself, then prepare 2 and share them with people who know you. Remember, not strangers, but people who know you, or people like me who work in marketing. So they, have that sense of what a good banner has to have in it. Oh, I've got somebody who says they're doing Canva coaching. I'll put your information up there. So I've never worked with you, but that sounds cool. And I definitely think that for you guys, make sure that on LinkedIn that you put that in your banner so that people know how to find you, right? That they can easily search you on LinkedIn. That's also really important, guys, is if you're offering a service, put it in your title for SEO, put it in your banner, turn on creator mode so that you can add your keywords that you want to be found for, because that's really going to help you find clients for your work. Like I said, not everyone should be doing their own banner for sure. But when you do your banner, make sure that you're putting those CTAs in there. And I put in the chat earlier, I'll put it back up, is my YouTube channel. Please follow me on YouTube. I go live every week to talk about business, marketing, mindset. And last week I talked exactly about CTAs, and your banner is one place where there has to be a good CTA. So remember, your goal should be to be seen, to be crystal clear of what you do. Today, this woman blocked me because she was frustrated because she was trying to sell something to me and I couldn't understand what the heck she was selling. It was so generic. And I was like, well, okay, tell me what you do. And she kept repeating some weird stuff. And then in the end, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I usually don't question so strongly, but I can't understand what you're saying. And this was an English native speaker, so it was not a language problem. It was a clarity problem. Telling people we can do everything is a very, very bad and dangerous thing. Niche down, don't be afraid, but mostly you need to have a brand promise, what we call a unique value proposition. All right. Let me see if I can give you one more thing here. I've got so many great giveaways, guys. I would highly, highly recommend that you check out my free 5-day LinkedIn challenge. It is so worth it. I'm not holding anything back. I'm giving you all my insights on what I teach, and I'm giving it away for free. So why wouldn't you download it, right? It's definitely worth it. I'm looking, and another thing. Okay. Oh yeah. Here you go. So this really goes with the training today together. This is another really good resource. So last week when I did the video, the live about CTAs, about call to actions, I put together a worksheet. And this worksheet has all kinds of examples. So you can get it if you go to chrismelione.com/CTAs. And I think that would really help you because you're going to use that in your banner. You're going to use that in your about section. You're going to use that on your posts. You're going to use that everywhere because when, as a business coach, you're leaving money on the table. I'm telling you this, if you don't put great call to actions everywhere. And there's so many mistakes people make, like what we talked about, the banner. Either there's nothing there. I don't know. You don't want me to reach out to you. You don't, or it's really not the right one. Telling people to go somewhere, like call me or email me. No, you have to first sell me into what you do, that I want to reach out. So that's not the way to start the relationship. Okay. First, I need to check your portfolio. First, I need to check your references. I need social proof. I need to see what people are saying about you. All right. So there's so much that goes into selling. And CTAs are one of them. And your unique value proposition is another one. And your brand, the colors you use, the personality you convey, that's another one, right? So all of these things are beautiful. They work together to help you get more clients, to help you attract the right job opportunities, to sell yourself above the competitors. Because guess what? All of us are somehow competing with others, right? Whether you're a business owner, a freelancer, a side hustler, an employee, but you want to, always get more money, get better positions. We have to work on our personal brand. And your LinkedIn banner is part of that. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I'm going to let you guys go for today. I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of the day, a wonderful weekend ahead. It's getting warmer in the Northern Hemisphere now. So springtime is really, really here. So go out there, get yourself some sun, and don't forget to work on your banner. I'll be checking. So I hope this was helpful. If you guys like this, I really appreciate you giving me a like, following me on LinkedIn, hitting the bell so you get notified. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I post all my upcoming lives there. I have a whole playlist. So you can just browse what I'm going to be talking about and you can RSVP so you don't miss it, or you can RSVP so you'll watch it on replay, right? That's what I do. I have so many great events and workshops and masterminds and videos and webinars that I want to do it all, but I don't have physically time to be at the same place at once. And I have other things to do, which I'm sure you do too. I'm sure you're very busy. So subscribe so that you can find me again and reach out with any questions. If you guys have anything that you want me to address, then you can shoot me an email here. The 5-day challenge. Hold on. I will get that to you right now. Let's see. I hope this is the right link. I will open it to make sure. So that one. So this workshop, I do all kinds of stuff. I mean, I over deliver massively, massively. So you're not going to be disappointed. You're going to get what we did today times 10, right? Just making sure that link is still working because I'm redoing my website. So I put back up these really simple, kind of ugly pages. So please ignore that. Ignore that and just take the goods. All right. Yep. It's working. It's, I don't know if any of you guys are redoing your website, but compared to a banner, it's like the banner is like preparing a sandwich, and redoing your website is like preparing a wedding banquet, right? It's so much more work, so much more work. So bear with me, but the LinkedIn challenge is definitely working, and the page seems to be working that I put up. So go check it out, and whether or not you design your own Canva banner, make sure that you're getting those elements in there that we talked about. Make sure that you're asking feedback. Show people what you're doing and say, is it clear to you what I do? Hide your title and tell me by your banner if I can get all the information I need to hire you. That's my test. That will show me if you really put all the good stuff in your banner. I need your brand promise, your unique value proposition in there. All right. And then I'll know if that's really good enough. And you can look at my banner. It gives you an idea of who I am, right? Hopefully, because there's people who message me all the time offering me to help me start a business. And when I'm teaching other people this, and I'm like, what? How did you guys? Or like the lady today, where I looked at her profile, I could not understand what she does, and she was communicating with me, but it was so weird. I was like, this doesn't make any sense, lady. So I like plain talk. So don't use fancy language. Keep it simple. I want to know, are you a business coach? Are you a web developer? Are you a graphic designer? And I don't want you to be 20 of them. Niche down, pick one. I have another resource I'll drop in here, and then I'll let you go because I'm giving you way too much homework. And the last resource I'll give you is, you can't do anything in your sales if you don't know who your target audience is. In the 5-day LinkedIn challenge, I go into detail about that, but I also have this quiz. So if you really want to nail your sales, you really want to just make a lot more money this year, then do my 5-day challenge and do this quiz as well. Because this quiz will really help you understand who you shouldn't be targeting and get to the people who have the money. All right. Make sure that that's really clear in your head. How are these people going to pay you? Do they have the money? And why would they hire you? And that's one of the things your banner can help with, is making it really clear why they should hire you. But you can't do that unless you know first who they are. And those are the people you're doing the banner for. You're not making the banner for yourself. That's why your name doesn't matter. I joke with people. I say, call me Yoda. Like, no one cares what. Right now you're listening to me. Do you really care what my name is? It's up on the screen, but you get my point, right? You care what I can do for you. That's all that matters. So think of it when you're doing your banner the same way. Don't mess with people. Fasna says, how can you download the challenge link? You don't have to download it. You click on it, or you type it. You in the chat. It should be in the chat. You can just copy it and then paste it into your browser, and then you can get my free challenge, and you will be so much better on LinkedIn right away. All right. And if you enjoy it, don't forget to come back here to LinkedIn and leave me a review. I love getting reviews. I'm doing this all for free. So subscribe, leave me a review. These are the ways you can repay me without spending any money. All right. Now go out there and make some money, be successful, and have a beautiful life. I will see you next week, same place, same time. Next week, we're going to continue talking about all the good, cool things we can do to make money. What do you mean, Justin? No, it's not. Well, I don't know what that means. You mean my link isn't working? Justin. I want to end the meeting now. I've been keeping everyone so long. Okay, I'm putting it on the screen. So just 5-day LinkedIn challenge. That's how to get to it. And somebody asked if I can copy and paste it again. Yes, I will do that. So let's see. Okay, so it's in the chat again. So hopefully you guys can get it. And I'm going to let you go, but if you need anything, just reach out to me. You can reach me on all social media channels. I'm Krista Molione. It was great seeing you guys. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care.